Hey, what's up? Um, Running with the theme of me changing my location pretty much every single time, I'm almost running out of places, so I decided to do it in my closet. That's irrelevant. But I wanted to do kind of a follow up to the love video that I did. It's been almost 2 years since I've done that one, so my perspective has changed dramatically. Um, as well as I've come such a long way and been through so much since then. I wanted to shed some light on a more realistic perception. So back when I first made that, I was kind of just this idealistic fairy tale relationship um, I really wanted, and so I tried to force it. And I'm not going to talk about personal experiences or give away any details. I've been bad about that in the past, and I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't go into my own life if it affects somebody else's as well. So I'm not going to do that, which was wrong of me. So I apologize. You know who you are for that. Um, but I need to give a more realistic interpretation. While movies and songs and the media and everybody portrays love in such a wonderful, just completely untouchable thing, and while it is the most captivating of all things, it causes catastrophe. It causes wonderful things to happen. Negative and positive both come out of it. It's honestly it's the craziest of all human compassions, all anything. Um, but it's not a fairy tale. It is not untouchable from disaster and heartbreak and everything you could possibly imagine. It is the hardest thing um, you will ever do. Period. To sustain a relationship and to make that spark turn into a fire and keep it burning is almost impossible. And even with the best of couples, you are going to have a very, very interesting experience, and it's going to get rough. I mean, you could be the two nicest people in the world who get along greater than anything, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard, and I didn't see that before. And I went into it thinking that if you were just a really nice person and did everything you could for them, that it would work, and that's not true. There's so much more to it than that, and people will tell you, make sure you're happy above all. And while I agree with that, um, because you do need to be happy to make anyone else happy. If you're not happy, then how could you possibly be expected to reciprocate that in another person? You can't. You just can't do it if you can't get through a day you know without questioning the decisions you make in life, or without being happy at least most of it. There's no way you can make someone else feel that way. So while I do agree with that, I don't think your happiness necessarily needs to come before the other person's. Especially if you're in love, your happiness doesn't come first, and if it does, then that's a problem. Like I said, you need to be happy in order, but that's just to make the other person happy. I don't think yours comes first. That's a very selfish way of looking at it, and the other person, the person that you care for more than anything else in the world. Because let's face it, while family is always going to be extremely important to you, when you actually get married, your wife, granted you don't have children, is first. Plain and simple. It's the person you could be most intimate with. You can be the most compassionate with. You share your most laughs. You cry with. You everything. I mean, it's that person. Um, so I mean, their happiness comes before your own. hands down, every time. Like, don't ever think that it doesn't, because it does. And while sometimes you want to do something they don't approve of, and it's going to make them unhappy, and please stand up for yourself. Don't let their happiness crush your self-worth and make you, not able to do the things that you want to do because it would make them unhappy. There's a fine line. So you do eventually, there comes a time where you do need to, if their happiness is getting in the way of your own, that's when it becomes problematic. As long as you can coincide and be happy together, then I think that theirs comes first, period. But going back to my original point of it being not so fairy tale, like, it can be a wonderful thing. It can be a magical thing. It could be indescribable. I don't have words to even begin to explain the feeling that's created. Everyone knows what it is. No one can tell you what it is. They all know what it is, but they can't say what it is because it's just a feeling. You have to feel it. And I still think, I mean, even after everything, I will never stop trying to make it work with somebody. And it's not going to work with everyone, and it's not always your fault. So don't think that it is, because it just isn't always going to work, and you're gonna, when it does, if it does fail, you're gonna miss that person no matter what. If it ends in the worst way, if it ends in the best way, if you do it, if they do it, you're gonna miss them terribly. But that's normal, allow yourself to miss them, to feel sad. Don't bottle it up. Being sad is a part of life. It sucks. I wish that humans were incapable of that emotion, but at the same time, I'm so glad that I am capable. I have met people who literally cannot feel bad about something, and I feel sorry for them, because you have no boundaries, no limits. You do whatever, you don't care. So allow yourself to be sad. Talk to people about it. Don't think that it's all these people are like, well, be strong, just get over it. The best way to get over somebody is to get with someone else. And no, allow yourself to feel that way. Why try to fight it? It's gonna happen. You're gonna feel sad no matter what you do. You're not gonna feel good at the end of the day, even if you get with someone else right away. You're gonna miss that person. I mean, it's a fact of life, and love is a challenging thing. I like to think that I handle situations well, and I'm a pretty intellectual person, and it doesn't matter. Period. It doesn't matter if you're stupid, if you're smart, if you're somewhere in between. It's hard, and when one of you is fighting that battle and the other one isn't, it's gonna end, and it sucks, but it will. But I am still as optimistic as can be about when I do eventually get to that point where I can be with someone forever. I still do believe in forever. Now, while I feel like my ideal behind it before was a little fantastical, I perceive it in a much more realistic way, and that is two people working together with the common end goal of being happy together. That's all love really is, and you can't force it, and it doesn't matter if you are the nicest person in the world. If someone's not having it, they're not having it. It's not going to work, and just don't waste your life away trying to change somebody. You should never need to change someone. If you love them, you will love them for who they are, and you don't need to change them. And if they go off, and like I said, if their happiness gets in the way of your own, and starts causing problems for your own, and that's a problem. So I just really feel like if more people cared so much less about themselves and more about the person that they're with, or the person, because you become responsible for someone's happiness. You become responsible for the outcome of their day, and listening to their problems and helping with their problems. And people have become so selfish that they feel burdened, and to feel burdened by another person who has put all of their faith and trust and love into you, to feel burdened by that is so detrimentally sad. I can't even begin to fathom being burdened. So if you're not ready to jump into something, then don't let someone else make that jump. Just love is the best and the worst thing that humankind is capable of, and just don't play with fire.